Like on, just like fire. It's miraculous because all week you've been dead, but today you are doing work. But then something happens, something terrible. You can't believe your eyes, it completely ruined your flow. You just hit the biggest wall of them all, and it's only built with 3 little blocks. Yes, it's a horrific 404 error message. So, we consulted an expert. Adrian Gardenara, the founder and CEO of Salo. Where did this horrific 404 message come from and why? Just why?
404 messages can be quite frustrating. A very interesting story about the 404 error message is that in the early days of the internet, scientists at CERN, who were actually trying to invent the internet at the time, had a room called 404. So people would send requests to that room and they would ask for specific files. At some point when the number of requests got high, they couldn't find files that were misspelled. They would say, room 404, file not found. And that's sort of the urban legend about it. A 404 error message in the simplest, lamest terms, it's basically a page not found message. So interestingly enough, this 404 message was established as one of the set of error codes. So the World Wide Web Consortium in about 1990, they established a set of codes that a computer can use to understand how they communicate with each other. So there's a whole lot of error messages, about 60 of them. Most of them you never see, but 404 is the most common.
4011 on that
The last signal. How to survive a global information blackout. The Geopolitical Survivor Manual, Chapter 3.
message.
The Silent War. Error. Screens and accounts suspended. Notices. Host in a darkened room, illuminated only by a warm amber glow of a small radio dial. We have secured your physical infrastructure. We have fortified your wealth against the volatility of the global markets. But in a true national crisis, the most dangerous weapon deployed against you isn't a physical one. It isn't a tank or a missile. It is silence. The most terrifying scenario isn't the lights going out. It's the screen staying on, but telling you absolutely nothing. When the global web splinters into what we call national intranets, who do you trust? When every device in your home is broadcasting a different version of reality, today we complete the manual. This is Chapter 3, Information Sovereignty. We are going to show you how to find the signal when the world tries to drown you in noise. We are going to teach you how to survive the digital Iron Curtain, the Splinternet reality. For decades, we've lived under the illusion of the World Wide Web, a borderless digital utopia. But that era is over. We are rapidly moving towards the Splinternet. This is a world of hard digital borders where data is treated like contraband. When a nation enters what we call stability mode, usually during civil unrest, a currency collapse, or a geopolitical conflict, the first lever the state pulls is the data plug. This isn't just simple censorship. It is the total control of the narrative. If you don't have a way to reach outside your assigned zone, You aren't just offline, you are isolated. You become a prisoner of a local narrative. Ask yourself a transparency check. Is your news coming from a decentralized web, or is it being fed to you through a government-controlled intranet? If you don't know the answer, you are already behind the curtain. Manual entry, the information partisans kit.
Radio communications, there are a lot of things to consider. Radios, propagation, antennas, all of this can get really complicated really quickly. But one major concern that a lot of people have these days is privacy. With government surveillance and big tech censorship increasing to staggering levels, more and more average people are considering handheld radios as a viable means of communication for everything from emergencies to daily communication that is a bit more private than a smartphone.
To be informationally sovereign, you must own your connection. You cannot rely on a service that can't be deactivated with a single keystroke from a corporate headquarters or a ministry of telecommunications. You need the information partisans kit. First, the shortwave bridge. When the fiber optic cable are cut and the cell towers are throttled, the ionosphere remains. Shortwave radio is the old god of survival for a reason. It ignores digital borders. It allows you to hear what the rest of the world is saying about your situation while your local media remains silent. Second, mesh networking. In a localized blackout, you and your neighbors must become the network. Tools like Meshtastic allow you to send encrypted encrypted coordinates and text using LoRa radio waves. This requires no cell towers and no internet. It is a private, invisible grid that you control.
Number 1 is what you communicate, and 2 is who you communicate to. There is a third factor, who might be listening, but we'll address this as we go along. These factors will dictate
the hard archive. In Chapter 1, we talked about data backups. In Chapter 3, we talk about verification. You must keep physical or offline digital copies of critical maps, medical manuals, and historical documents. When digital history is being rewritten in real time to suit a new regime, your offline archive becomes the only source of truth left in existence. Verifying the signal. In a crisis, propaganda isn't just about lies. It's based on flood theory. The goal is to overwhelm you with so much conflicted data that you experience analysis paralysis. You become so exhausted trying to figure out what is real that you simply give up and follow the loudest voice. Sovereignty means having a verification protocol. You must cross-reference. If a state broadcast says one thing, you check it against amateur radio reports from the ground. You compare those to satellite imagery if you have access to boots on the ground. Observations from your mesh network. If 3 independent non-digital sources say the same thing, that is your signal. Everything else, the viral videos, the panic tweets, the official press releases, is just noise designed to keep you paralyzed. The series finale and the new beginning. You should have the foundation, infrastructure, wealth information. The Geopolitical Survival Manual is more than just a video series. It is a mindset. It is the refusal to be a bystander in your own life. It is the transition from being a user to being a sovereign. But the world doesn't stop shifting. The digital iron curtain is being drawn tighter every day, and the BRICS nations are moving towards new systems that will challenge everything we know about the current order. The manual stays open. It will be here every week monitoring these shifts so you can keep your protocols updated. If you value the intelligence, hit the subscribe and join the hundreds of thousands of sovereign thinkers who refuse to be caught off guard. The signals are there for those who know how to listen. I'll see you in the next update. Once again, I'm Ro for The Real Shift, asking you to roll with me.